Hola Alejandra, ¿cómo estás? ¿Me puedes escuchar bien? Hola Alejandra, ¿cómo estás? ¿Me puedes escuchar bien? Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? ¿Me pueden escuchar bien? Hola Alejandra, hola José, ¿me pueden escuchar bien? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so we are going to start, okay? Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? Estamos en una nueva plataforma, por lo cual hay que tener un poquito de cuidado porque pueden compartir su pantalla, ¿ok? Ahorita justo puse a José, eh, te acabo de volver a aceptar porque estabas compartiendo pantalla. Entonces vamos a iniciar eh, el curso de inglés empresarial. A partir de ahorita les voy a hablar completamente en inglés. Y si tienen alguna duda o algo, me escriben por el chat, ¿sí? Alejandra y José, no sé si me pueden ir escribiendo e indicarme si me escuchan bien, por favor, ¿sí? Listo, chicos, entonces vamos a empezar. So, first of all, I want to welcome you to our course, English for Business. This is session 1. It is the greeting and personal introduction, el saludo y la presentación personal. Y bueno, yo, su profesora Liliana Quipuzco. To start, we're going to see the course considerations. First, you must speak English during the entire conference. Second, You can ask questions during the course of the conference. Third, I would really appreciate if you share anecdotes, experiences, or problems related to the subject in order to help you. And finally, fourth, at the end of each session, you will have an exam of 10 multiple choice questions with 4 alternatives. This exam is going to be on your virtual classroom, okay? So you will find it later. Also, you will get access to the material that we're going to see today, okay? So I guess that you can understand me, right, Jose? Lo repito en inglés. Como pueden ver, ahí están las consideraciones del curso. Y finalmente, el examen y el material del curso lo van a poder encontrar en su aula virtual, al que luego van a tener acceso. Listo. So we're going to start. If you have problems with listening to me, with the sound on the back, let me know, okay? Si tienen problemas con el sonido que no me pueden escuchar bien por el sonido de fondo o si se entrecorta, me escriben y me dejan saber. Okay, so we're gonna start. First, we're gonna see the greeting, how to greet, okay? In this case, according to Cambridge Dictionary and Oxford Dictionary, greeting, or in Spanish, saludo, means something friendly or polite that you say or that you do when you meet someone or you welcome someone. So the first thing you said that it is polite to someone when you first meet, that is a greet. On the other hand, Oxford Dictionary says that it is a polite word or sign of welcome or recognition. So we can see that in both, let me annotate here. In both dictionary, it says that it is when you meet or welcome someone, and could be a polite word. Okay, so it is a word or a sign or something friendly that you're gonna say to someone when you welcome or you meet. Now, what is the first thing that you need to know before you greet someone? The first thing that you need to know before you greet someone, it is the time. So you must ask yourself what time it is, or what time is it in the place that the other person is. For example, if I'm talking to a supplier or a client or maybe a friend or maybe to my boss, I need to know what time is it where he or she is or lives. For example, you can do this by going into Google. You can look for the time just by putting what time is it in China, for example, or what time is it in Shanghai. So you can put a country, you can put a city, and also you can compare times. For example, you can put what time is in China, in Shanghai versus Lima, and Google is gonna give you the information. So you will be able to see this and to estimate if it is a good time to call the other person, to contact, to send a message, and also what is the word that you will have to use in order to greet him. Okay, so now I'm gonna share to you give me 1 second. I'm gonna share to you my Google. So we're gonna see an example, okay? For example, in here you can see my Google. And we're gonna write here. what time, I'm sorry, you put time in China, for example. So we're gonna see what time is it in China right now. As you can see, in China right now, it is 9:14 a.m. So right now it is a good time to call China. Also, you can put what time is it in Shanghai. In Shanghai, it is the same time. It is 9:15. You can put the city. So what time in Shanghai, China? It is 9:15 a.m. But look, it is the Friday, December the 7th. In here, in Peru, right now, it is 8:16 p.m. But December the 6th. Okay? And now you also can compare. For example, you can put what time is in China versus Lima. So Shanghai, China is 13 hours ahead of Lima. So right now it is 19:14 a.m. Friday in Shanghai, and approximately here it is 9:14 p.m. on a Thursday, December the 6th in Lima. And in Shanghai is Friday, December the 7th. Okay, so right now it is a good time to call China. So maybe my supplier, my client, or my boss is in China. I know that it is morning there, and it is a good time to call. It is not too late to call. Okay, so now going back to our material. Now that we see that it is a good time to call China, Shanghai, we can use the type of greetings. Let's remember that there are informal and formal greetings, okay? So we have the informal greetings. We can say ways of saying hello is hi dear, hello, and then you can send a name, hey, and then you can say the name. After that, you can ask the person how they are. You can say how are you, how are you doing, how's it going. Later, you can answer. If they answer you first and they, for a polite way of giving the asking again, you can answer, I'm fine, thanks, I'm good, thanks, all right, thanks, not bad, I'm okay. And then you can return the questions. And you, what about you? How about you? Okay? So this is a type of greeting, informal greeting. In this case, I could say, hello, Jose. How are you? Jose can answer me back, I'm fine, thanks. And he can return the question and say, what about you? And after that, I could answer back, I'm good, thanks. So that is kind of an informal example. Now, informal ways, we can have good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. There's something special about good night. That's why it has this kind of different dots. And we're gonna see it later, okay? Then for formal ways, you can say sir if it is a male, madam if it is a female. We can use Mr. and then the last name if it is a male and we know his name or his last name in this case. Then we can say Mrs. That it is for a female that is married. We can use Miss and then the last name or name that it is for a female that is single, that is not married. And then we can use Miss. It is like the first one, Miss, but a little bit shorter. This is Miss Fernandez, and this is Miss Fernandez. A little more shorter than the previous one. In this case, this means it is for females that you don't know if she is married or single. So in here in Peru, when you say sometimes señora to a lady that it is not married, it could be a little uncomfortable. So in English, it is the same. So if you don't know if the lady is married or single, you can say just miss. Also, you can use this when you write. If you don't know the marital status of the other person, of a female, you can use this word, miss. Okay? So then you can ask the person. You can say, how are you? Or how are things with you? That is a formal way of asking how they are. And finally, also another phrases to say, it's been a long time, hasn't it? That means that you haven't seen the person for a long time. And the other one is, it's lovely to see you again. It means that it was really nice to see the person. For example, you can say, remember that in China right now it is 9:14 a.m. Remember that we just see this um, a little while. So we can say, good morning, Mr. Martinez. How are things with you? And Mr. Martinez can say, fine, thanks. What about you? And I can answer, I'm really good, thanks. It's been a long time, hasn't it? So it means that I greet Mr. Martinez in a formal way, and I'm saying to him that it's a long time that I don't speak to him. Okay, so that is a way of greeting. Then, when do I use good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night? In this case, you're going to use good morning from 12 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. Okay, so in this case, from midnight to 1 minute before noon. Desde medianoche hasta un minuto antes de mediodía. So remember that it was 9, right now it would be like 9:23 a.m. in China. So it is good to say good morning right now if we call China, okay? Then you're going to use good afternoon from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. It would be like buenas tardes from 12 p.m. from noon, mediodía, until 6 p.m. Then you're going to use good evening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. In this case, this good evening could be kind of buenas noches in Spanish, okay? And finally, we have good night. Good night, it is also, the translation would be buenas noches in Spanish, but you're going to use this from 9 p.m. onwards. It means that from 9 p.m. until 1 minute before 12, 1 minute before midnight. Desde las 9 hasta un minuto antes de la medianoche. What is that characteristic of this good night? In this case, you're going to use good night only to say goodbye. Okay, so if you are leaving a place, or if you're going home, or if you're going to hang up your call, your video call, or say goodbye via a message, and it is from 9 p.m. onwards, you can say, instead of good evening, you can say good night. It means that you're saying goodbye. Okay? There is a characteristic of this word. So we have good evening and good night, that it is buenas noches, but you can see that there are a little bit of difference. Okay? Perfect. So now, we're gonna see the second part. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat, okay? So I will try to answer you as soon as I finish each part. Si tienen alguna pregunta, me lo van dejando saber por el chat para poder responderles. Now we're gonna see introducing yourself. Now that we know how to say hello, how to greet someone in informal and informal ways, now we are able to say to present ourselves. In this case, to introduce ourselves. It is the correct word. Okay? So, introducing, to introduce, presentarse. According to Cambridge Dictionary and Oxford Dictionary, means to tell someone another person's name the first time they meet. So, to introduce is to tell someone to someone another person. So you are introducing another person. That is to introduce, okay? And according to Oxford Dictionary, it means to make someone known by name to another in person, especially formally. So it means that you are making someone known in a formally way, okay? In a formal way. So let's see that introduce means that when two people meet and they don't know each other, you're going to make this third person be known by name. In this case, introducing yourself means that you are going to tell someone your name because it is yourself. So you're going to tell someone your name when you first meet. Okay? So now, how you introduce yourself in business. This is a little structure that you can use when you meet someone. If you're meeting a supplier or if you're meeting a client. In this case, what should I say when I introduce myself? It is very simple. I have divided it into 3 pieces that you can say first. I wanted to introduce myself. Quería presentarme. I don't think we have actually met formally yet. Creo que no nos hemos conocido formalmente aún. I don't believe we've met before. No creo que nos habremos conocido antes. Then you can say your name by saying my name is or I am. And then you can use this. I work for, you say the company's name. Let's say I work for Camex as a teacher. Or I am, let's say, the general manager, the CEO of Microsoft. Or I am Camex's teacher, for example. And the last part, I can say I am responsible for marketing at Microsoft. So after that, you can say, the other person can say, nice to meet you, or very nice to meet you, or pleased to meet you, or it's a pleasure to meet you. And you can answer back, nice to meet you too. I'm glad to meet you too. It's very nice to meet you as well, and me too. Okay? So, I'm gonna give you a little example. Let's use, again, Jose as an example. Let's say that I'm going to introduce myself to Jose. So in this case, I can say to Jose, good afternoon. I don't think we have actually met formally yet. My name is Liliana Quipuzco, and I work for Camex as a teacher. Jose is gonna say to me, nice to meet you, Liliana. And I can answer back, nice to meet you too, Jose. Okay? So that is a way to introducing yourself. Very quick, very short, very simple in English, especially for business. Okay? It is a formal way to say, to introduce yourself. But how about when you have another person next to you? Let's say that I have already met Jose previously. Jose knows my name, knows who I am, but he doesn't know Alejandra. So in this case, I have divided into two pieces. You can have the first one, that it is the first part. You can say, have you met, and then you say the name. For example, have you met Alejandra? Or I would like to introduce you to Alejandra. Or there's someone I would like you to meet. This is Alejandra, for example. And finally, you can use he or she works for, and then you say the company, ASA, and you give the title. Or he or she is the, and you say the job title of the company that she works for. Then you can say he or she is, you say the company with an S, because it means that the job title that you're giving is from the companies. Or finally, you can say he or she is responsible for, and you give the job role at, and then you say the company. Okay, so let's give an example. Let's imagine that I'm introducing Alejandra to Jose. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example with each part. So in this case would be, hello Jose, or maybe good afternoon Jose, how are you? Jose is gonna answer me back. He's gonna say he's okay. How about you? I'm gonna say I'm good, thank you. Have you met Alejandra? She works for Camex as a teacher. Let's imagine. That would be an example. Another one would be, I would like to introduce you to Alejandra. She is the general manager of Microsoft. Or maybe I can say, there's someone I would like you to meet. This is Alejandra, and she is Camex's teacher, for example. Or finally, I could say, this is someone I would like you to meet. This is Alejandra. She is responsible for sales at Camex. Okay, so this is a very easy and short way of introducing someone else in business. Okay, this is going to be very important for you to use, especially when you meet a supplier or a client. Maybe sometimes you're going to meet this person, especially when you go to fairs, ferias. I don't know if you have gone to fairs, but I have gone to some of them. We tend to pay for a ticket, and this ticket is for 3 or 4 days. The days that the fair is going to take place, right? In this case, if I'm paying him for 4 days, it is obvious that I have to go these 4 days. So first of all, me as a responsible of international trade, of imports in my company, I go first to see all the fair, to see all the stands, and then to see which one do I want to work with, which one could be a good supplier or a good client for my company. After this, on the second day, the general manager is going to come with me, and he's going to meet the person from the stand, from the other company, the international company that is there, right? So this little phrase of introducing someone else's business could be really important for me to introduce my general manager to the other person that is on the stand from the international business, okay? Knowing that previously this international person already knows me, okay? Now I'm going to explain a little bit in Spanish, okay? En este caso, presentarse a uno mismo es muy importante. Te va a servir mucho, pero presentar a alguien más en negocios es también muy importante, porque te va a permitir dar a conocer a otra persona. Por ejemplo, cuando vas a ferias, usualmente se paga por varios días en la feria. Usualmente cuando una persona está encargada de ventas o de comercio, vamos el primer o segundo día, nos damos el tiempo de conocer toda la feria, ver los stands y ver con quiénes queremos trabajar. Una vez que ya tenemos esta información y ya elegimos a nuestros potenciales clientes o proveedores internacionales en una feria que puede ser dada acá en Perú como en el extranjero, va a venir el gerente general para conocer a quienes nosotros ya hemos preseleccionado. En este caso, el saber cómo presentar a alguien en inglés va a ser muy importante, porque me va a poder permitir hacer la conexión entre el gerente general y la persona representante de la empresa que está en el stand, que puede ser extranjera. ¿Ok? Listo. Now, we're gonna see how you can say goodbye in business. In this case, there are formal and informal ways of saying goodbye. Informal ways is see you later, see you soon, it's lovely to see you, and it was great to see you. After that, you can say have a great afternoon or evening, depending on which one you have to use. You can say have a nice afternoon or evening, have a wonderful afternoon or evening. Okay? So, for example, I can say, I'm going to leave the place and I'm going to say goodbye to Jose. So I can say, see you later, Jose. Have a great evening. This is an informal way. On the other hand, we have formal ways that you can say goodbye. It's nice to have met you. It's goodbye. It's a pleasure to have met you. It was a pleasure finally meeting you. If maybe there's someone that you have already talked on the phone or maybe sent messages, but you didn't meet face to face. Another way of saying goodbye in a formal way is it was very nice to meet you. I hope we meet again soon. And then you can use the name. In this case, you can use sir. You can use madame, that it is a very formal way in order to don't use the name if maybe you don't remember the name. Or you can say Mr. Fernandez using the last name, Mrs. Fernandez for a lady that is married, Miss Fernandez for a lady that is single, and Miss Fernandez for a lady that you don't know if she's single or married. In this case, I could say, it was very nice to meet you. I hope we meet again soon, Mr. Martinez. Okay? And finally, there are some little things you can say. You can say, thank you very much for dinner or lunch. It was lovely. This is especially if you go to eat with a person. Also, you can say, thank you very much for having me. This is especially if you are going to another person's office. Also, you can say, thank you for a lovely evening. If you just spend if you spend a meeting or you were with person in their office, or maybe you meet somewhere else, or maybe you met in a fair, or maybe you met in a restaurant. Okay, this is a more general way of giving a last thank you, a last word before saying goodbye. Okay, so you have formal, informal, and formal ways of saying goodbye. And finally, there's a video of accents of the English language that I'm going to leave you. I don't think we have a very good, let me check. I don't know if we have a very good sound. While it is downloading, I'm going to give you the reference in here so you can check them later. Okay. And finally, I want to thank you for your attention. I hope that you have enjoyed this session, this first session, that is greeting and personal introduction. We saw today how to greet, how to know when the time it is correct to talk to someone. We also saw um, how to say hello in formal and informal ways, how to introduce ourselves, how to introduce someone else, and also how to say goodbye in formal or informal ways. Okay? So I hope to see you next Thursday. Remember that we start on at 8 o'clock if possible. Um, and nothing else. It was great to have you here. So finally, to finish, I'm going to show you the video. Okay, if you cannot hear it very well, if there's some sound problems, don't worry, because in your remember that in your virtual classroom you're going to have access to this material, and you will have this link in order for you to check it again later. And I recommend you to check again, give a little check to the material before you go and take the exam. Okay, so now finally to finish the class, we're going to see this little video. Okay, so we saw this video that it's is giving us, we can see there a male, a guy, that it is talking in different accents. Why why this is important? Why is this important for the class? Because when you go to a fair, when you go to another country, or maybe if you meet a supplier or a client here in Peru, it's usually going to be people that only speak English. So you have to be very open and try to focus yourself on understanding the other person, because every person from every different country has a different accent. They speak different. Italians speak different. French people from France, French people speak different. Us as Peruvian Latin Americans, we have an accent also. So this is very important. You have to try to be relaxed and don't feel pressure in order so you can understand what the other person is saying. As a personal experience, I could say to you that the most difficult accents to understand it is from people from China and from people from India. For me, those are the more difficult. It is not impossible, but it is a little more difficult because they have a really strong accent, especially people from China. They don't speak the R. They say it like an L, kind of when we hear in Spanish. And from India because they tend to speak really fast and they don't, maybe they usually have a really strong accent. You can, it is hard to understand. So you have to be very relaxed in order so you can meet this new person, introduce yourself, and introduce someone else. Okay? So finally, like I told you, here are the references. You can check them later. You can study them later. And last but not least, I want to thank you for being here. Remember again that this was session 1, the grading and personal introduction. And I would like you to see you next Thursday, okay? Remember that in your virtual classroom, right, you're going to have your material, this material, and also the access to your exam. Remember to check the material before you take the exam, okay? So you take a good exam. And finally, I want to give you this information that it is the email. So if you have any questions of the class, you can write to the guys in comics and they will help you. Or maybe if you have a question or you have a request, you can say, this is a request for the class of English for Business from Miss Liliana Quipuzco, teacher Liliana Quipuzco, and I would like you to give this information to her so she can help me. Okay, there's no problem. That's good. You're allowed to do that. Okay, so finalmente quiero agradecerles por su atención. Recuerden que esta ha sido la sesión 1, el saludo y la presentación personal. En medida de lo posible, siempre vamos a tratar de empezar a las 8 en punto. Y me gustaría verlos el próximo jueves. Recuerden, empezamos a las 8 en punto. Ahí los chicos de Camis ya les van a hacer llegar los horarios. Y si tienen, recuerden que en su aula virtual luego van a tener acceso tanto al video como al material para que puedan volver a darle una chequeada al video que vimos, a este video de la clase, al video que vimos de los acentos y también al material en general. Les recomiendo que vuelvan a dar una chequeada al material en general antes de que puedan dar su examen, que también lo van a encontrar ahí, ¿ok? Para que puedan dar un buen examen. Y finalmente, el correo que les estoy dejando acá es info@camexperu.org.pe, en donde si tienen cualquier duda o cualquier pregunta o cualquier requerimiento que puedan tener para las clases, no sé, alguna duda en específico, se la pueden hacer llegar a los chicos de Camex para que ellos me la hagan llegar a mí. De eso no hay ningún problema, está permitido. ¿Ok? Listo, chicos, entonces nuevamente les agradezco. Espero que tengan un bonito fin de semana y nos estamos viendo la próxima semana, ¿sí? El próximo jueves. Cuídense y un abrazo. Gracias, tengan buenas noches.